What's up, YouTube world? This is Jay, and Monday Night Raw just got over, so you know what that means. It's time for Jay's Monday Night Raw review. This episode of Monday Night Raw was the Superstar Shakeup, Part 1. So, superstars from SmackDown are going to go to Raw, and some stars from Raw are going to go to SmackDown. So, a bunch of guys from SmackDown were on Raw today, and I'm about to cover what went down. So, with that being said, join me if you will. Gather around, kids. The show kicked off with Shane and Steph, and Shane insults the crowd, and does this whole heel gimmick, and he insults their French, because they were in Canada, they were in Montreal today. And The Miz is the first superstar to come over from SmackDown Live, and he beats up Shane. And The Miz was bleeding pretty good from his head. It looked like Shane got him with a stiff punch right around this region here, because blood was just pouring down his face. And definitely had to be an accident. They brawled, but it wasn't like... normally it would be like a chair shot or something to bust somebody open. But nah, I think Shane's knuckle hit him on the head. Cut him open pretty good. And that was the end of that. So Miz is the first superstar to come over from SmackDown. Then next up, Ricochet was coming out. And in the beginning of Ricochet's song, they did a little bing, 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 bing. Little Ricochet noise. Like, bing, bing. As if a gun shot and bounced off of something and ricocheted, because that's his name, Ricochet. I thought it was kind of tacky, a little geeky, but I kind of dug it at the same time, because it's like, what other sound could really represent his name besides that, So yeah, I thought it was alright. And Aleister Black came out after him. Sorry. I'm wiped from excitement. The War Raiders came out, and now they're the Viking Experience. They came up from NXT. They were the War Raiders in NXT, and now they're the Viking Experience. Even their names are changed. I really don't dig that. Not so much that their names are changed, but from the War Raiders to the Viking Experience. That screws up everything with the fans too, because we would chant war, 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 as they came out. Now what are we going to do? What are we going to chant? Vikes, 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 like we're a bunch of fucking addicts. Come on, let's get real, WWE. And I'm from a town where my high school's team is the Vikings. And I don't even like this. I don't know. I don't dig that. Maybe it'll grow on me. I don't see it happening, though. And then the Vikes were joined by the Revival. And the Revival and the Vikings win by the Vikings hitting the Fallout on Zack Ryder. If you don't know what the Fallout is, they pick their opponent up over the shoulder, belly up. Then the other guy jumps off the top ropes, hits him with the leg drop. Mind you, he's around 300 pounds. So yeah, they hit that finishing move on Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder gets the loss. Oh, Ricochet and Aleister Black were teaming up with Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. So Zack Ryder gets the loss, but Kurt Hawkins did not get the loss. That's what I think is important here. That Kurt Hawkins did not get pinned. He's won 2 matches recently, 0 losses in the last few weeks. So I think that's an underlying theme they're going to start going with. Zack Ryder is going to become the guy that gets pinned all the time and feel bad about himself and turn on Kurt Hawkins. I think that's how this will pan out. But we'll see what happens. But in my expertise, I think that's what's going to happen. My expertise comes from watching wrestling since like 1995. So I've put in my time as a fan. So I think that's where they might go with that. And I'm cool with that. And then there was a little vignette for Cedric Alexander coming to Raw. He's coming up from 205 Live. He's a really good superstar. Can't wait to see what he could bring to Raw. Then Andrade comes out, and he's coming up from SmackDown, and he's coming out there to face the Intercontinental Champion Finn Balor. And this was a good match, back and forth, high flying. Finn Balor, Andrade was targeting one of Finn Balor's legs throughout the match, and at the end, Zelina Vega tripped Finn up or distracted him somehow, and Andrade got the victory. So they'll probably continue that feud for a little bit. Maybe an Intercontinental title match at the next pay-per-view for Andrade. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. Both very good competitors. Let's see how that goes. Last yawn, I swear. I'm lying. Elias comes out and he does his whole shtick. Disses the crowd, says whoever comes out, they're not going to be able to show their face around town anymore. So you immediately knew there was a pun. And I felt like a mass superstar was going to come out. I was just trying to think of who. But there's really only one, and that would be Rey Mysterio Jr., that's who came out. And Rey comes out. Him and Elias fight a little bit. Rey botches a Hurricanrana. A springboard Hurricanrana off the top rope, sorry. And that was kind of funny. Elias had to catch him, and then they kind of just both fell over. I don't mind when I see botches because I feel like it just shows you that they're actual human beings and they make errors. And in a real fight, you're not going to land every punch. You're not going to land every kick. Not everything is going to go as smooth as you would like. So in a sense, it adds a little bit of realism to it. So yeah, I just thought that was pretty funny. But he vanquishes Elias anyways, and in the midst of him celebrating his little victory, Lars Sullivan comes out. Now, Lars Sullivan has been beating up people the last 2 weeks. So he comes out, and he fights Rey, and Rey fights with everything he has, does everything he could, and Lars Sullivan was just too big and too strong and overpowers Rey, hits him with the freak accident, and then hits him with the humongous sit-out powerbomb, and just left Rey lying. Poor Rey. Gable and Rude come out, and they're talking, and while they're talking, a screen pops up with the Usos' name in it, like a little screen, like the entrance screen, as if they're coming down the ramp. There's a little box, and it says Usos. So they spoil what's about to happen. Somebody's getting fired for that. I could almost guarantee it. Because sure enough, a minute later, who comes out for their big surprise? The Usos. The Usos. And, surprise! And, they had a pretty decent tag team match, and the Usos ended up winning with a double splash off the top rope. If you're wondering why I'm doing this now and not in the morning or whatever, it's because I'm more motivated now than I would be in the morning. Even though I'm yawning now, in the morning I would just be like, man, I don't want to do this. And then after work, I feel like it's so late by the time I get home, like, who really cares? You know, so, because there's so many other videos up by then. So, yeah, whatever. I'm doing it now. I'm taking a little bit of time. So, don't mind me. If my yawning annoys you, I apologize. But the Usos went with the double splash on the top rope. Next up, we had a moment of bliss, and Sami Zayn comes out, and he gets a huge hometown reaction. This crowd was so loud for Sami Zayn singing his song. Oh, 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 like so loud, dude. Like, my God. He's from the area in Canada, so you know he's a hometown guy. But it was so loud, and problem is Sami Zayn's a bad guy, right? So how do you get the crowd that loves you to hate you? You say in Montreal. He says the air in Montreal is so Quebec. Oh, burn. Immediately, the crowd turns on him. And that is good psychology right there. My note says, I'm dying, because I was cracking up. And then he says he can't wait to get out of here and yada yada. And you see the crowd literally waving, singing, na 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 na, na 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 na, hey, 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 goodbye. And they're just, it was so funny. It was so good. I would love to go to a wrestling show in Canada because they're freaking wild. They're wild. Like, I feel like they put Philadelphia Eagles fans to shame with how wild they are over there. And I mean that in a good way. Like, respect way. Not, we're going to burn your house down because we won the Super Bowl way. The Eagles. That's what I say. Anyways, this is about Raw, not my hatred for the Eagles. So I thought that was hysterical that they were singing that and waving at him. That was just so good. And then the Iconics come out. And, before this, Bayley was on the phone or leaving a message for Sasha Banks because there's this huge backstage shit going on that I'm not really going to get into because that's not really my thing. But, you know, they kind of intertwined it into the show. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then the Iconics came around the corner like, oh, your friend's not around. And, you know, Bayley was like, yo, I'll challenge you to a fight. Let's go fight. I'll find somebody to team up with me. We'll beat your ass, you know, whatever. So Bayley comes out for a match. And who joins Bayley but my effing woman, Naomi. I love Naomi. She is my fave. She has been for a while, and I don't know if anybody could take that spot. Not even Asuka, and I love Asuka, but Asuka's a close number 2 to Naomi, and Carmella is a close number 3 to Asuka. So I don't know if anybody could take down Naomi in my mind, for my love. She's as her theme song says, she's amazing. But anyways, I have my note here. I love Naomi. Marry me. So you know I'm not kidding. Sorry, Jimmy. And I was pumped because Naomi got the pin after a springboard moonsault. Naomi got the pin. Naomi got the pin. I was pumped for that. That made me super happy. But then you know what made me super sad? What happened next? EC3 comes out for a match, and who comes out to face him? Braun Strowman. They don't even have a match. The bell never even rings. Braun Strowman just destroys EC3 and ends up choke slamming him through the stage like he's friggin' nothing. And that upsets me. Because I like EC3. And I like Braun. You know, but, yeah. I'd like to you know, see them do some more with EC3. So that kind of upset me. But on the flip side, it made Braun look like a monster, which he is. So, gotta take the good with the bad, I guess. You know? And then next, we have Becky Lynch versus Ruby Riott. And Becky Lynch wins via the disarm her, which is her submission move. It's just like an armbar. And after the match, Natalya comes out and basically says, "Yo, I want a shot at that women's title, man. I've been here for a while. I've, been doing my thing. I've paid my dues. I want a shot at that title." And Becky's like, "All right, man, I respect it. You want to come out here and call out the man? All right, we'll do it." And then Lacey Evans comes out, cuts a promo on Natalya. And this is the first time you've heard Lacey Evans really speak on TV. She basically just said, "Natalya, you can't have that title. Like, you don't deserve it. You're classless. You're nasty." Like, I love Lacey Evans. And so her and Lacey Evans and Natalya end up having a match. And, it was a pretty good match. And Natalya ended up having Lacey Evans in the sharpshooter. And Lacey Evans went to crawl to the ropes, and Natalya drugged her back in the middle of the ring. And Lacey Evans looks like she was just about to tap. She was like, "Ugh." And then it's like something in her mind said, "Yo, I used to be a Marine." Because she was in real life a Marine. So she was like, it literally, like, you could tell her facial expression said, "Yo, I used to be a Marine. I'm going to tap out to this hoe?" I don't think so. She crawled to the ropes, got out of the sharpshooter. Natalya was mad, threw some bombs, speared her into the barricade, threw her back in the ring, and then Lacey Evans hit her with that woman's right, which I love that. I love that name, by the way. It's just a hard right hand punch right to the face. But, woman's right. With the whole Me Too movement, and she used to be a Marine, and she's all about, women being like strong and independent and powerful, so like the woman's rights, just a really good name for that punch, and knock Natalya out with that. And then just to make sure, she goes on the middle rope, jumps from the middle rope, turns 180 degrees in the air to the top rope, and hits a springboard moonsault, which I think she was a little short. I'm pretty sure her knees landed right on Natalya's midsection. I wouldn't be surprised if she had a broken rib or two. So that sucks for Natalya, but Lacey Evans got the win, so I'm not mad. And that was an awesome springboard moonsault, even if it didn't go 100% according to plan. A for effort, and A plus for even, pulling something new out of the bag. You know what I mean? And trying to surprise the fans and wow the fans. You know what I mean? It's her first match on Raw. You got to do something. And she did. I applaud it. Lacey Evans, big thumbs up. Hope, big things are in the future for her. I think she'll get a title match against Becky. I think I already said this last week. But I don't think she'll win. But I think she'll put on a real good performance. And now we get to the main event. We got Drew McIntyre, Baron Corbin, and Bobby Lashley versus Roman, Seth, and a mystery partner of their choosing. So who do you think it's going to be? Who, as the New Day would say. And it's none other than the phenomenal AJ Styles. So now he's on Raw, which is great. Even though Raw doesn't come around me as often as SmackDown, so that kind of sucks. But whatever. And I liked it when AJ Styles came out. Everybody kind of looked like, "Oh man, oh no, oh dude, we didn't expect them to get somebody phenomenal. We thought they'd get somebody good, maybe somebody great, but not the phenomenal AJ Styles. I really like that. You know what I mean? I thought that was just a cool little touch that the heels threw in there. And, it really made it feel like, oh shit, like AJ Styles is here, like Troy Aikman's back, like, you know what I mean? Aaron Rodgers. Um, so yeah, so they had a 6-man tag match: Seth Roman and AJ Styles versus McIntyre, Baron Corbin, and Bobby Lashley, and it was a good match and good pace, quick action, nice match, and Seth, AJ, and Roman ended up getting the win by Bobby Lashley had somebody pinned. I forget who, but Roman Reigns. But Seth Rollins hit Bobby Lashley with the curb stomp in the middle of the pin to break it up. Then Roman got up, hit Lashley with the spear. Then AJ Styles hit him with that phenomenal forearm. 1, 2, 3. Match is over. AJ Styles, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns get the victory. And that was the end of Raw, folks. Really good Raw, in my opinion. I thought it was very well done. It went by pretty quick. There wasn't any matches where I was like, oh, not this one, this is stupid, It was good. So we'll just have to see what happens tomorrow on SmackDown. See what Raw superstars jump over to SmackDown, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm not gonna get into who I think's gonna jump over or anything like that. I'm not part of. I don't. You know what I mean? I could do predictions and stuff. Maybe I will someday if somebody, if anybody out there cares, just leave it in the comments and say, hey, man, I'd appreciate your predictions. Then, I do them. But I don't think that'll happen, which is fine. Because I don't think a lot of my subscribers right now are wrestling fans. So I'm just kind of doing this because I'm a nerd, and that's why they call me Anyways, that was stupid. So, with that being said, have a good night, folks. Peace out. I'll get back to you with my SmackDown review tomorrow. Peace.